aspect on safari. That's a kind of a big thing that's hitting me hard right now, is seeing a lot of first-time safari goers planning their safaris throughout, social media forums, blogs, just all these different kind of chat forums, and just being able to follow along as people start to plan their first safari or going on their first safari in the coming months. And it's just kind of a big thing as I see just a common thread of, what should I take? What should I expect to see? How, expectations seem to be very high on a lot of these safaris, but I think it's due to the social media presence, due to being able to follow people and see the highlight reel on social media. And that's what it is. It's, you don't see any of the doom and gloom. You don't see a lot of the not bad parts, but the downside of things, or the down moments on safari, or just the true meaning of safari. You just see the grip and grin trophy photos on a lot of people's pages. A lot of outfitters do a good job in trying to share the whole experience. They try to show a good picture of how the whole safari thing goes, because it's not just the grip and grin. It's not just the amount of animals and the salt at the end of the safari. And I feel that's where social media has hurt hunting, period. But social media has hurt the safari industry. Is you see YouTube videos of guys just whacking and stacking 20, 30 animals on a safari in a group, or a guy goes over and shoots 14 to 20 animals. And that couldn't be farther from the truth of a true safari. And I think a lot of people, if they're not whacking an animal every morning, every afternoon, or on every day, it's like, oh, you went with a bad outfitter, or you went to a bad place. To be honest, I mean, to me, it's on your first safari. It's new. You haven't been there. There's a lot of different variety of game, a lot of options. Yes, it's very possible to have a safari with a lot of animals, especially on that first trip, especially if you're in a good area. But again, it goes to the point of, are these guys shooting from the vehicle, or are they just whacking and stacking, running and gunning, shooting, lesser quality animals to just have on social media and just to get the likes and comments? You can expect probably an animal a day on your first safari if you're, open to a lot of different things, especially if you're, wanting impala, springbuck, blessbuck, some of the more common game found throughout South Africa that's in abundance on a lot of game ranches, and even abundance in some of the free range areas. You could be, doing an animal a day on a 7-day safari, but on typical, I would say between 5 and 7 animals on a 7-day safari is a really good safari. Having a down day or two, whether it's because of weather, whether it's because you're spending the day tracking, on maybe a buffalo or an eland, or spending the day glassing for kudu bull that the outfitter might know of, or there's down days. It doesn't always have to be whack and stack. And so my thing is if you're going on your first safari this year, or planning to go on your first safari, don't go into it with the aspects or the thoughts of having the same experience as somebody else, the same social media post, because most people ain't going to share their day by day. I try to share a lot of the day by day, share the struggles as well. On a safari I did in 2022 in the Eastern Cape, I shared the struggles we had trying to do the bush pig with hounds. You'd think that running them with hounds would be a lot easier and be just a one and done deal. It took us a day and a half to get a bush pig, and we ended up shooting a big sow. And it was a struggle. It was raining on us. It was fun, but it was fun to share the struggle with you guys. Fun to share the experience of it. We almost lost a blue diker. It's a small animal, shot with a 375. It went, half a mile, and it was just crazy, just to share that experience, because a lot of people don't. I think it's the downside of social media, downside of YouTube, is not everyone's sharing their true safari experience. So when you're on safari, again, 7-day plan team hunt, expectations to have 5 to 7 animals is great if that's what's on your list, if that's what you can afford. Expect to just experience it. Roll with it day by day. Don't get up and say, okay, today we have to do X, Y, Z. Get up and think, okay, what am I going to experience it? Because that's what it is. It's about the experience and the memories made on safari. It's about enjoying the sunrise, enjoying the sunsets, having the sundowners, enjoying the food, enjoying just the culture and the experience of it, enjoying following the trackers if you're doing a buffalo hunt, or enjoying following the trackers if you muffed a shot, because that's another big thing. Is I'll dive into that here in a minute, but it's just following those trackers, learning and seeing the experience of them, because they are skilled, especially in some of those, areas where they've been there a long time. They've grown up tracking buffalo, or, a lot of them are experienced poachers in a lot of different places. Just to experience the way they work and the way they do things is something incredible and unmatched anywhere else. But a big thing is a lot of people think, you're going on a 7-day plains game hunt. And, let's say you shoot 5 to 10 animals. That's more animals than most people. Unless you're hunting mule deer and elk every year, and you're successful in that. That's more than most people will take in 4 or 5 years that you'll take on that one 7-day safari. And if you look at it, a lot of people will say, well, I muffed up this shot and I don't know why. And it's like, well, you're getting a lot more shot opportunities, to be honest. You're getting a lot more shots in than the typical hunter does during a lifetime, on a safari. And so just be prepared for that. Be prepared that there's going to be mistakes. Don't dwell on it, practice a lot beforehand, but there's going to be mistakes. If you hunt enough, you do have mistakes. But learn from it. Experience what happens when you muff up a shot. When I was on my first safari, I muffed up a shot on a guns buck, and it took us some time. It cost us some hours doing it, and I got to experience the guys at work, and I learned what jumping cactus were, as you probably heard on my podcast and video about my first safari. But it's all about the experience. Going there, experiencing that. A lot of guys do have a negative talk about traveling while on safari. I think, again, that's part of the experience. I don't suggest having a real busy travel safari for your first time, because you want to be able to relax, enjoy it, and take in the sights. Like that safari I was talking about where we did the bush pig, it was a lot of traveling. We'd get up and drive a couple hours here, a couple hours there to do different things between the Vol reed buck, the Orby, the blue diker. Really the only thing that we stayed on home base for was that bush pig, and then we shot a calf, black wildebeest that had a broken leg, and then I shot a black wildebeest bull that was, a true trophy bull. But that was all we spent on the home base, and then we went and did everything elsewhere. We did the blue diker, the Orby, and the Vol reed buck separately, and on different places, each of them. So it was like an experience of driving is cool. But on the first safari, try to maybe limit that. It is cool to have a little bit of driving. We did some driving on our first safari to hunt kudu in a different place, and that was sweet. Getting up that early, driving, stopping halfway to get a meat pie from just a kind of a little gas station deli was part of the experience, which is super cool. I remember that, and then stopping and getting a bag of chips on the way back, simple chips and a Coke. It's just the different experiences that you get on a safari is something that you guys need to just slow down and take in. Take a camera, take more pictures. Don't have high expectations, because when you go in places with high expectations and a little bit of something might happen, whether the guns might not show up, or something just goes a little bit out of whack. We're human. Things go out of whack. The PH isn't going to be the perfect person, isn't going to be the savior of life. Something's going to happen on safari. It might not happen, which is great, but something could happen. And if you have too high of expectations, that can really flip your hunt from being a great safari to a bad safari, just because that one little flip can give you a bad taste. So make sure when you're going over there, you're in a different country, you're dealing with different people. We call it Africa time. When you're on Africa time, 4 hours is 6 hours, or 4 hours is 9 hours type of deal. And especially when you get into more remote Africa. But just roll with the punches. You can't get too upset. You can't get too overworked up, and just roll with the punches. Enjoy it. Take it for what it is. Take it with a grain of salt. Take a book with you. Read. Just talk. Hear stories from your PH. Hear stories from the outfitter if you're in camp with a couple different PHs and the outfitter. Just soak it all in. It's an experience that I think far too many people try to just rush through it all. They need to get the photo for the gram, need to get this for the gram. And like, I've been guilty of it. I have my phones always out taking videos and stuff. And sometimes I look back and say, man, I wish I would have done that, but then I wouldn't have the little clip that I have to remember it. So it's a kind of a catch-all on that sort of deal. Is, one big thing is, if you can afford to take a camera guy or hire one over there, because they're much more affordable over there, if you can afford to have one videography your hunt for you, it's well worth it, because the memories and everything that comes back with you is just 10 times better. It's just, you can relive it by watching it, whether it's for private use or you're going to put it on social to share with everyone else. It's a great way to remember your hunt. It's a great way to have those experiences for a lifetime and past your lifetime. But just remember, soak it all in. Take a journal, write it down. I was bad at it for the first few safaris, and I wish I would have, because my memory, through having the dirt bike wreck and going into induced a coma, and having some brain swelling. Like I lost a lot of my memory from those early safaris, like all the details of it, which really sucks. And if I would have took a notepad and wrote down a lot more, I would have memories. Sure, we filmed it for TV, but all I have is the cut edited video. I don't have the raw files, which I wish I did. I don't know what happened to them. For many safaris, we lost a lot of footage and stuff. But having notes would help re-spark the memories. It would bring back stuff if I studied it, read it. And so just taking notes, whether it's on a notepad or you're doing on your cell phone. I do a lot of notes on my cell phone, and then it saves to my laptop, and then that's what I use for a lot of my writing when I come back, is I take that and it helps me remember, oh, this day we did this, we tracked this buffalo, or I muffed up this shot here, we saw, a penguin, which I haven't seen one yet. The group saw one when we were in Namibia, but it's just things like that, just taking those key notes on those safaris to relive and remember them, and just soaking it all in and enjoying the experience. Not getting rushed, not getting too overwhelmed with things kind of go astray. In a lot of places you might have some truck issues, you might get a flat, you might break down, you might get stuck. There's just a lot of different things that can happen. You're in Africa, roll with the punches. Life's not easy everywhere. I'm sure that you've had bad days on your hunts here in North America, and if you're a guide, I'm sure you've messed up before here guiding clients. So don't go over there and take it out on an outfitter, or take it out on your guide or your PA or your trackers. If things are going a little bit, skew, if the trackers lose track of something, typically that doesn't happen. But if it does, it's because one, the shot was bad, there's no blood, hit solid ground. It's just roll with the punches. Don't have overly high expectations. Have a broad view of things. Take it all in for what it's worth, because the safari is the greatest adventure you'll ever go on, especially if it's your first safari. If I could do one thing, if I could bottle up that feeling of emotion the first morning in Africa, planning that first safari, and I could sell it, I would be a trillionaire, because the feeling that you get from that is just something you cannot relive. I'm planning for some more safaris now, and I'll hit 20 by the end of this year, and it's just like the excitement's there, and it's there, but it's like, I wish I could feel like it was my first safari again. I love having the knowledge from all these other trips. 20, I'm going to go on 20 safaris this year, be on my 20th safari this year. But the past 15 years of hunting Africa, 16 plus safaris that I've done up till now, I enjoy the knowledge I've gained, and I learn something every time I'm packing. Why am I packing this? Or, oh, I should have took this last time. There's different things to learn no matter what. You could go 100 times and you're still learning. So no matter if someone is telling you they know it all on social media, they don't. It's just that experience, that first safari, is asking those questions, diving in, learning as much as possible, because there's only one first safari, and if that's something I can tell you is just soak it all in. Don't expect much. Don't be overzealous. Don't be thinking, okay, I need to have this kind of experience. I need to do X, Y, Z, because again, that could lead you astray if something does come a little bit wonky. So just go into it being open-minded. Have a great attitude towards it, and just roll with the punch, because I promise you there's nothing else to it like it, like going on your first safari. And so go into it open-minded, paint a broad picture in your mind of what you want, and then if that doesn't happen but you see XYZ, it's all worth it. It's all worth the experience, and it's something that I wish, again, I could just bottle up and sell, because I'd be a freaking trillionaire if I could bottle up that emotion you get. And so I say, if you're going on your first safari, go into it open-minded, be prepared, go to the range, get your walks, get your steps in, get in shape, and take a camera with you, because this is an experience that you cannot relive again. It's something that you need to just let engulf you, and you experience it for what it is. I'm jealous of you if you're going on your first safari this year. I'm jealous of you if you plan that first safari, and I'm even more jealous of you if you've not been to Africa yet, but you're thinking about it, because that's a dangerous situation to be in, because it is something that will bite you, and it'll bite you worse than anything in the world. And so I hope this video was great for you guys to kind of get an idea of what not to expect and what to expect on that first safari, and when planning that first safari. And don't have high expectations. Roll with the punches. And so thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Share it with a friend. If you have a group of you going for their first safari, share it with everyone in your group. If you know a friend that's going on their first safari, please share it with them if you think this will help them. And if you're looking for more information, I have a lot of videos here on YouTube explaining a lot of stuff that I've learned over these 16 plus safaris, 15 years of hunting Africa, from South Africa to Tanzania, Cameroon, and Ethiopia, and many in between. And then I have a free safari plan ebook, my free safari help, and my free safari one-on-one course at mysimsafaris.com. Check them out, links in the description. Again, I appreciate all your support. Just appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. Stay tuned for the next one, and until then, happy hunting and good luck on that first safari.